Hello, my name is Nicholl, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I have another message for you singles out there that you might want to listen closely to. And this is that individual that is floating around in dating app world as well as elsewhere who is looking to take advantage of you. Some of these folks who have been taken advantage of would call someone like this the dine and dash individual, a person who sits down, eats with you, okay, and then figures out a way to stick you with the bill, okay? Some of these men are disgruntled. They have their share of mean-spiritedness about them because in the past they may have experienced women taking advantage of them, and so now they are turning the tables, okay? And they're doing it in a way that if you are a believer, you would go, wow, the devil's really moving. Okay? The devil's really moving. I'm sure there's going to be some other clever names that come out for other people who do all sorts of wicked things to individuals. But you've got to understand that anytime man comes up with something worldly, like a dating app, okay, anytime man comes up with a new invention to get some folks to do some stuff that isn't necessarily right or true, there is going to be children of darkness who are going to play. And they're going to play with money, with minds, with opportunities, and anything else. Children of darkness are selfish individuals. They are the ones that are going to lure you in. In the case of the one who likes to dine and dash, okay, the lure is that I'm getting a free meal. How am I going to be able to lure this person into buying me a free meal? Okay. You have other people in this world who are looking to lure people in, and I've said this in other audio video, lure people in terms of getting their homes paid for. People who are looking for assistance that they don't have to pay to work their businesses. I gave you sex, now I want you to work my business. You got people out here who are looking for folks to take care of their relatives, their children, and whoever else they want you to take care of. Okay, there, of course, are going to be, like I said, more names on top of more names as the dating app industry continues to grow. But I tell you that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He sees manipulators. He sees liars. He sees drunkards, sexually promiscuous people, and he frowns his nose. Okay. And he also allows the enemy to have his way with folks who claim, Lord, Lord, but yet they are not walking in his way. Okay. So if you're not on the side of light, you're on the side of darkness. Okay. And what is in darkness will eventually come out into the light. So maybe there are those individuals who you come across who fit some kind of profile, some kind of catchy little phrase or name. Okay. What are you going to do about that? Are you going to continue to play the game? Or are you going to educate yourself more and be the one that's going to play them before they play you? Or are you going to draw near to the one true God and allow him to work on you and then eventually lead you to the partner that he has called you to? And as I've said in other audio, not everybody is called to have a partner. This is why it just doesn't work. These relationships, a person's 20-some years old, realizes, you know what? I'm not having any luck. Okay. That's a word that they like to throw around. I'm not having any luck finding anyone. Okay. Maybe 4 or 5 years later, she does find someone, but then this relationship doesn't work. Okay. Then she gets out of that relationship. She gets, on a dating app or dating website, and she's trying to find another person. And then this relationship seems to go pretty well, but then this one ends. And then it just keeps going on and on and on. Eventually, you would think that she would say, maybe it's not meant for me to have a man, but nope, she'll continue. She'll continue until she's old and gray and until nobody wants her. Then at that point, she'll say, I guess it's not meant for me to have anyone. You see? You can either learn the easy way or you can learn the hard way. Lord, what is it? All you got to do is just pray and then start walking the walk. doing what God has called you to do, which is to study and show thyself approved unto him, to draw near to him, to trust him with your life. Okay. And then you say the kind of prayer as you are drawing near to him. You say, Lord, I just need your help. I need to know whether or not it is for me to be married at this particular time in my life. Is it for me to be dating at this particular time in my life? And I'm telling you, the writing will be on a wall. You may not like it, but it is for your safety in some cases, because some of these individuals, they did not listen and ended up contracting all sorts of diseases. Other people, unwanted pregnancies, people committed abortions. It just wasn't for them to be in these relationships. But my mother, but my daddy, but my best friend and my cousins and all these other people got relationships. I don't understand why God wouldn't allow me to have a relationship. Some people, as I've said in another audio, are not mentally equipped to deal with a relationship. They break down. Other people, they become obsessed. Every time they get involved with somebody, they're obsessed. That is a personality disorder. Other people, they look good on the outside, but they got a lot of stuff going on the inside, and they refuse to change. You shouldn't be in a relationship. As I've said in past audio, there was a relative of mine. Matter of fact, it wasn't just one relative. It was many relatives who said that relationships were not for them. And as they got older, they did not go out with anyone. They didn't. And other ones, unfortunately, were having sex, okay, out of wedlock, just getting their fleshly needs met, but commitment, absolutely not. And they said, I will never get married. That is not for me. Other ones said, I don't want children. I don't want a husband. Okay. And these people are 6 feet in their grave now, and they stood by what they said. It's these flaky folks sometimes that they say one thing, but they do another. And that's what makes these people who come into their lives angry. Because if you really didn't want to be married, then why is it then that you agreed to my proposal? If you really didn't want children, then why is it then that you didn't protect yourself? If you really didn't want marriage, family, and the whole kit and caboodle that comes along with it, then why do you go around here telling people these things? Okay. What? Just to start up a conversation with folks or make them think a certain way? Most of the time people don't care. They got their own issues. I really don't care if you ever get married. I don't care if you have any children or don't. You know, I got my own problems, they say. You see? So why are people really doing this then? Because of pressure from society or what have you? So you have folks that are going to take advantage in dating world. And if you're drawing near to the Lord is going to guide you to the right people, places, and things at the right time. And if you are trusting in him, you're going to ask him about his plans for your life. Do you have a husband in mind for me, or a wife? Do you have children in mind for me? Or is that something that I shouldn't even be thinking about, being that I went through A, B, and C? You see? And that's why sometimes people don't have children. I talked to a man, and he said that, and he's over 70 some years old now. He said that he knew that God didn't want him to have kids. He said, because of my upbringing and because of the things that I was still dealing with, I wouldn't have made a great father. He said it. Okay. That is a person who knows himself. And some of you all, you know, deep down inside that no, you're not going to be the good mother. You're not going to be the good father. So you know you need to be protecting yourself. And for some people, they need to just go ahead on and get an operation done if they feel like that is not something that God has led them to do, just in case. Okay. I know that that's pretty drastic, and I know some people would have issue with that. Wow, you would really advise that sort of thing? If a person knows that they got a long track record of some very evil stuff, okay, and they know that they got a long history, okay, where family members and friends did some dark things and folks never could seem to kick their evil, then they do what they have to do. I'm not going to be that one that tell them don't or do, really. I mean, if I had a one-on-one, depending on what the person's situation is, I would just say, what do you know about yourself? What do you know about your family history? What has the doctor said? What has the psychologist said? Well, it looks like there's a lot of people saying that you shouldn't be bringing children into the world. You might want to take their advice. Okay. Now, for Christians, you already know God, he doesn't believe in abortions and so forth. And, even for those who are not Christian, I mean, but if you do end up being pregnant or what have you, then, you got to talk to the doctors and the professionals and so forth and make sure that that child gets adequate care. Because too many people end up going to jail because folks will say, you can be a good parent. Yes, you can. And then the child ends up being abused. Now, whose fault is that? So there are some touchy situations here, I know. And I know some folks is just like, sounds like a little bit of pro-life, pro-choice, pro-something going on. No, it's about people and their personal relationship with God, as well as those around them who God has used to help them in whatever it is that they're dealing with mentally, physically, and spiritually. Okay? We think we can just put everybody in one big old box and think that people are going to be okay and they'll be all right. And yes, go ahead on, get married, have children. And then when they end up doing some very, very dark, disturbing, evil things, then, they get quiet. See, those same ones that was preaching, you better do this, you better do that. They get real quiet. Are you going to take over that baby? Are you going to, be that one that's going to counsel that woman who, is very good with knives? Are you going to be that one that's going to talk to that husband who's been battered and abused and used and tell him that he should still take his wife back? So it's case by case basis. It's issues that arise, and we trust in the Lord. He is ultimately the judge above all judges. And for those of you all who just need some further insight, when it comes to all things related to dating, there is some worldly as well as not so worldly advice that is on a blog that's in the description box, as well as some books that I have. So by all means, you can check those out. Well, that is it. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. And also, we do welcome donations. Blessings to you.